All right. Well, good morning, everybody. It's Tim Kelly, and I am happy to report that we are live. If you're tuning in, feel free to drop any questions below. We have a special show today. We're going to take a trip down 95 and talk about Stafford and Fredericksburg, Virginia. We've got a new guest, Missy Walden, on. So let's go ahead and get started. All right. Well, welcome, Missy. How are you?
Good morning. How are y'all?
Good. Thank you for putting up with the technical issues this morning.
It's all good. You're in. You made it
Yeah,
happen.
yeah. The Kelly household is full of streaming devices, and seemed like we needed to turn a few things off to get this stream going. But appreciate you bearing with me, and happy to have you here.
Thank you. I am so happy to be home. I've been on the road for a month, and
Yeah,
I'm telling you, people, road trip from California back to Virginia and then to upstate New York at 10 degrees yesterday when we left. So Virginia looks pretty darn good next to that. My windshield wiper fluid was even frozen.
that
So
that's cold, and
not fun. Not
yeah,
fun.
yeah. You'll take the 20s and the 30s any day.
Yep.
Um, so it's Yeah, it's good to have you here. I know this is your first time being here, and so if my audience is watching, they don't know who you are. Can you just take a moment to introduce yourself and tell us a little about your team that you have?
Yeah. Hey, Missy Walden. I have been a real estate agent since 2006. I'm an Army brat, Air Force wife, moved a bazillion times in our life. Our military folk are our passion, really, because the lack of opportunity to accrue equity and then have to move to serve our country is something we really feel like we need to be here kind of as a backbone to help them. I've been through a couple markets now, watching what's happening now, which is really interesting. This is new. It's new to
Mm-hmm.
all of us what's
Yep.
happened with the COVID thing, and just trying to, yeah, we just have to realign our, what I want to say, our priorities. And I think what we're really trying to do is just to educate, to evaluate people's problems, and then figure out the best strategy to execute. But there's no one that fits in one box anymore. It's crazy. So,
Yeah, that's
and I
true.
appreciate your opportunity. I have a team here. We're multilingual, um, Spanish, Urdu, Mandarin, Chinese. So that's kind of my thing too. I feel like people come to this country, don't always get a fair shake if their English is not their first language. So we are really trying hard to wrap our arms around that community, and educate and keep them in a
Mm-hmm.
home
Mm-hmm.
if need be. So
No, that's great. And
that's my
yeah,
spiel.
yeah, no, thanks. And yeah, I think language is really important. I know we deal with clients all the time, and thankfully, numbers speak
Right,
internationally for the most
right.
part, but still trying to make sure people are comfortable is and understanding what they're doing or what they're signing is really important. So having that option is big. And so we talked about you mentioned the market and coming out of COVID. We saw you know I think it was the fastest rise in interest rates in 40 years. And I think since that peak, which was about October 20th, I believe, where rates, topped out over 7%, we've
You
seen them
remember that
retreat.
date. You got that date nailed, right? October 20th. My
Yeah,
life went to hell.
yeah, I think I was reading an article last night, and that's the date that they used, but
Okay.
for the peak,
Okay.
and that caused a lot of concern, a lot of affordability issues. Since that
Absolutely.
peak, this is the point of the article that I was reading. Rates have retreated by I think about a 1.125%. So they've gone
Mhm.
just down into the low 6% range. Um, what have you seen in the market? As far as like working, you work with a lot of sellers and your team, a lot of buyers, so you really got your fingers on the pulse. Like what's going on? Like what do you see happening
Well,
overall?
I see as a huge opportunity for buyers right now.
Yeah.
To me, as a we've been working more as a buyer. I've been working more as a buyer agent really through, from October to November. We've had quite a people come in, and Oh my gosh, what a wonderful opportunity to actually maybe get some closing costs paid, not have to throw a baby under the bus and empty your 401k and whatever else above the appraised value. I feel
Hmm.
like this is the best time because your competition is lower as a buyer right now. And you, as well as a lot of the lenders are trying to think outside the box to
Hmm.
make rates more affordable for people. There are options. Everybody needs to just, I think if people will reach out to you and try, or a lender that they trust, that's a local lender above all, please, people. I
Hmm.
just feel like a local person that's a representative, no matter what it is, has your best interest at heart
Yeah.
because you're part of the community that they're a part of. So,
Hmm.
I just want I want buyers to know that there are options now. They can maybe get some closing costs paid. They can negotiate a home inspection. I mean,
Hmm.
so many things that you weren't even getting an opportunity before, and you're really not bringing money over the appraised value
Yeah.
anymore.
Yeah, and that's, to your point about the local lender. I mean, this is an opportunity for buyers, and the local lender has that knowledge about, if there's any products that are, specifically designed for that market. Like here in Virginia, we have Virginia Housing. There's Spark funds. There's a lot of things that you can do,
Mm.
and I think it's a really exciting time because, this is an opportunity for first-time home buyers. If you're eligible for products like Home Ready, Home Possible, where there are area median income specific programs that give you a much more competitive interest rate, make housing a little bit more affordable. So it is important, that you work with a team that's going to take a look at those opportunities locally and take advantage, just to help, because I've seen buyers get great deals. We're getting appraisals above the purchase price,
Yeah,
now, and they still have seller credits in there. Um, but there's always buyers and sellers no matter what the market is.
absolutely.
In all of, I think, uh, our area from Fredericksburg up to DC and into Maryland, we're very fortunate to have a lot of great jobs, a lot of high earning jobs, and low unemployment that all helps our housing. And so these national headlines, obviously doom and gloom, gets people to click, gets people to,
Yeah.
watch. But it's not I'm not seeing it as a reality right now in our market. So we created the show to kind of dive deep into our local housing market, and talk about, what's going on on, boots on the ground. So, um, you know, we've got a lot of military in the area. We've got Quantico right down the street, down 95. Stafford feeds into that. Fredericksburg feeds into that. Do you have any data or information you want to share about Stafford,
Yeah.
in the Quantico
Yeah.
area? Go ahead.
Absolutely. Well, I mean, Randy and I chose to live in Stafford because we like to eat and pay our mortgage. I mean, those
Yeah.
are two things that were super important for us. And
Hmm.
Stafford has become a little more of a transient community. So we recently just sold the McMansion, and we didn't need the 3 acres, the lacrosse field, the golf, whatever that we seem to and have everybody at our house because our boys are grown. So we
Hmm.
downsized,
Hmm.
and we moved down to Fredericksburg, which I feel like is a little more of a sense of community because of the university being here. And Old Town Fredericksburg is just, it's walkable.
Yeah.
So I'll just, with Stafford County, I think because of Quantico's there, FBI Academy, going a little bit further north, you have Fort Belvoir, Andrews Air Force Base, and then the Pentagon a lot of our residents are federal. And that's
Hmm.
why our communities do so well. People have to move, whether they want to or not. They may not want to move and buy a house here, but it's so much cheaper to buy right now than renting. Rents are out of control.
Hmm.
There's no cap on a rental market, and the rental market, just as purchase market, is supply and demand. So people are competing in the rental market just like they were for sales for new homes to buy. So I think that that's something that people need to also do their comparison and their homework with the lender. Also, what's the smartest thing to do? We're going to be here 3 years. Should we pay somebody else's mortgage, or should we pay our mortgage?
Hmm.
So, just to run over, Stafford County is big, and a lot of Stafford County incorporates Fredericksburg mailing addresses, so it messes up everybody. But we are from Quantico, Stafford Lakes, which is on the other side of Route 17. the White Oak area, the Falmouth area, Park Ridge, Hampton Oaks, Seven Lakes, and Hunters Pond. Those are kind of all back into it, runs into Fauquier County on bigger lot areas. But Stafford County, you can get everything from a townhouse to a detached home in a subdivision with an HOA to acreage to a luxury or executive home, whatever they want to call it. You're going to
Hmm.
deal with well and septic at that point. So that's kind of an educational material too for people that are moving to our area if they want acreage. A lot of times they're going to have to have this get smart about well and septic. So, and it's not a bad thing. It's fabulous. You don't have a well water. You know,
Hmm.
you have your septic pumped every 5 years, but those are things that when you're coming to buy in this area or any area, I feel like you need to use a local agent who
Yeah.
knows these things. You can't bring somebody down from Arlington to buy in Stafford County or Spotsy.
Right.
It's a
Right.
big deal. So there's
Hmm.
certain questions you got to learn to ask, but I just wanted to go over Stafford County. In November, there were 166 homes. Now, this is everything, you guys, from townhomes to luxury homes. 166 listed. The 300 and as of this day, 380 homes are on the market. So I think too that people need to consider new construction.
Hmm.
New construction are homes that are not going to be built for another year, but they are listed. So, quote unquote, they're on the market. We have only 1.9 months of supply. That means it's still a seller's market, you
Yeah.
guys. So, as a listing, what do you think? Isn't it like 6 months? When there's 6 months supply, then it turns more towards a buyer's market?
That's what I've heard. Hmm.
So anyway, it's just a stat and fact, but really at this point, that month supply of inventory, we only have 1.9 months supply of inventory. So as a seller, it's an amazing time to sell. There's no competition,
Hmm.
right? So you have to be, and plus your 6 months back of comps are really higher than they're going to be for a while. I think those comps were out of control because people were
Yeah.
bringing money over the appraised value.
Yeah.
I think that time has passed. Nobody's going to
Hmm.
bring over the appraised value, really. One or two here and there, maybe, but it's not every flipping listing that you have to empty your piggy bank out in
Hmm.
order to win a listing. So,
Sure.
so at this time in Stafford County, there's 104 pending. So those are under contract. They're trying to get through their contingencies, but there's 104 pending. So that number can flex either way. You know, it's gonna, well, probably if anyway, it's gonna drop if like a home inspection falls out or something doesn't appraise. That number will be a little more variable.
Hmm.
154 listings sold in Stafford County. The average sale price was 495. The days on market has gone up a lot than it was 6 months ago. It used to be like 50 minutes on the market and
Yeah.
your house was sold. So our average days on market for you listing agents and for sellers, the reality is it may take 30 days to sell that house, but so be it. That's
Hmm.
average for historically recorded days on market. 30 days on market is average.
Hmm.
And then the one thing I thought was crazy was that we're 42 listings, only 42 listings down for the month of December. Going into December, there are 42 homes on the market to the 203 listings that were there last year.
Wow.
That's nuts.
Yeah.
So, and that's because I think a lot of times the seller doesn't have a place to go, that, they haven't found their home. There's not enough inventory. Maybe they're held back a little bit by interest rates also. So
Hmm.
Stafford County is still healthy, you guys, but we need listings.
Sure.
We need homes to sell. So if you're getting ready to sell or entertaining getting ready to sell, gather your information. As a listing agent, I'm only looking at comps 90 days back.
Hmm.
I am not going 6 months back. That door has closed.
Yeah.
Don't you think? I mean, there is those comps that happened 6 months ago are so or outrageously high. They're
Hmm.
not reality.
Hmm. Yeah. And
So
I think that's exactly what we should be doing. And I'm curious. I need to start looking back at our appraisal reports and see what how far back they're going. But typically, yeah, they're not going back any further than 6 months. But that was completely different market than we are today. So yeah,
absolutely.
I think 90 days, 3 months is spot on.
So the other thing too, I think what we're going to see is people are, doom and gloom, the doom and gloom report of the market falling apart and
Hmm.
prices having to drop. Well, that's because people are overpricing their houses.
Yeah.
People are looking at those comps that sold 6 months ago that are totally out of control,
Hmm.
and they have to learn to get real about what their sale price actually is, because now it's the appraised value. It's
Hmm.
not, hey, I'm bringing $30,000 above the appraised value, which is reflected as the sale price. So the doom and gloom of the prices falling into, the ground, it's really not that. It's that people don't know how to price a house properly.
Right.
So you have to be real about what it's going to appraise at right now,
Hmm.
not what your neighbor sold it at last year.
Yep.
So, and it's really hard to stomach. I mean, I heard that when I first came into real estate. Well, my neighbor sold his house for $100,000 more than I'm selling my house now in 2008 because it was so overinflated.
Yep. We
So we're leveling out.
Yeah. Yeah, we get that kind of all the time. Well, my friend got this rate, and well, your friend put down 20% or has, different credit score.
Right,
It's yeah, all the
right. Or
time,
they
different
bought their rate
circumstances.
down.
Yeah, exactly. They didn't tell you that. But yeah, again,
I
that's
took,
why,
I
professionals.
got 2.5%.
Yeah.
It's like a boasting thing at the bar. It cracks me up. But yeah, you
Yeah.
didn't tell the whole story. There's a bunch of other variables that
Sure.
factor in.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So let me roll into Fredericksburg. In
Hmm.
this, they call it the city of Fredericksburg, which is it's not Stafford County. Then the mailing address is Fredericksburg, and so most of the zip codes are 22401, 22404 kind of mentality. So in the city of Fredericksburg, only 30 homes were listed. The average sale price was 400,378. Um, Now at this point, the end of the month inventory from November, excuse me, from December, the beginning of December through the end of the month, there were 61 homes in the market. We only have 2.9 months of inventory. Again, still presenting as a seller's market. Um, Let's see. I think the thing too, in December, November, December are kind of weird months because of the holidays. A lot of
Hmm.
people don't want to put their home on the market and they have company and people traipsing through it. COVID was another factor. COVID kind of floated to the top again. Everybody got sick a little bit. So COVID kind of slowed things down. And then interest rates. A lot of people are saying, oh, we're going to wait to put our home on the market because the interest rates are higher, blah, blah, blah. But if you wait, then come January, or excuse me, springtime, when your house looks the cutest, you have everybody else thinks the same way. You have
Hmm.
so much more competition. So
Hmm.
now is a really good time to list your house, even decorate it. It's all
Hmm.
good. Just do
Hmm.
it. So we have 12 pending homes right now, which these 12 pending listings are going to be a reality check, because if their appraisals come in low, if they're overpriced, those are going to be the next 6 months comps. So those 12 pendings are going to influence the next 6 months home values.
Hmm.
25 closed. So, and that really is a kind of high number for the number of listings. And it's just because everybody, and too, Tim, you probably worked your butt off to get all those closed before the Christmas holiday.
Right.
Get people in their home before the Christmas holiday.
Hmm.
25 closed. Inventory is up actually in the city of Fredericksburg, just a little bit, not a lot, but just a little bit. And the sale price is up $50,000.
Mm.
So that's, I mean, everybody's the doom and gloom mentality. The sale prices are still staying level. But from December of 2021 to December 2020, our sale prices escalated and sold prices escalated. So those reflected sale prices are up almost $50,000 from 2021, which
Wow.
is crazy.
Yeah.
So when your tax bill goes up, people, that's why.
Yeah.
That's why. I just think, all right, so that's pretty cool. The city of Fredericksburg is fabulous. A lot of
Hmm.
historical homes. And they're very, I mean, they're one is unique more so than the other. So you could have the cottage next door to the McMansion that sold for 3 mil.
Yeah.
So our numbers are definitely from different home styles and home prices, but that's the average sale price around
Hmm.
400,000.
Hmm.
And then I wanted to roll through Spotsy, if you don't mind, real
Yeah, go
quick.
for it.
Spotsylvania County, again, is kind of our counties, Fredericksburg, Stafford, Fredericksburg, and Spotsy kind of all roll into each other. And it really just depends on what kind of home you want. Or do
Hmm.
you want an HOA? Because if you want the bigger home on land, you're ending up going a little bit further south. Your taxes are a little bit less. You get more for your money, as well as King George. Now, King George is another one, too, that we should probably bring into the picture for those who like to eat and pay their mortgage.
Sure.
Spotsy County includes Harrison, Breckenridge, Bloomsbury, Fawn Lake, which is its own community. It's more of a luxury home community on the lake. Lake Wilderness, Lee's Hill. We have a lot of more of our over 55 communities are in Spotsy County too.
Hmm.
Um, so the listed number of listed homes in November were 180 homes went on the market. Average sale price was 425. Um, End of month number 340 homes, and of course that pulls in the homes that didn't sell in October or maybe didn't sell in September. So as a buyer, those are your homes you want to go looking at too, because you don't think they want to sell that home. They may have overpriced it initially, and it's a slow death. They're coming down $5,000 at a time.
Yep.
So those, if you're looking as a buyer, and your agent definitely needs to go back and look at the ones that are 30 days older also. Those are going to be the folks that are willing to negotiate a little bit.
Hmm.
We have only a 1.8 month supply, again, seller's market here in Spotsy County. We have 94 homes that are pending. So again, those will be the ones that'll set the precedence for the next 6 months. We have 137 that have closed and sold, so everybody could be in their home at Christmas time. And the average sale price was 420, which to me is really pretty high.
Hmm.
But that's the average sale price, 21 days on market. Again,
Yeah.
not one day, you know. And then the inventory is up from 283 in 2021 to 334. And
Okay.
I again still kind of attribute that to we have a lot of new construction in Spotsy. So
Hmm.
the inventory, like when you look in the MLS, there's 11 homes that are the same home,
Hmm.
but they're new construction. So
Yes.
I think it totally skews our numbers big time.
Right.
Um, that's pretty much it. I think
Hmm.
the market is still very, it's not volatile anymore. We're normalizing. I think
Hmm.
this is what people say, oh, I'm going to wait for the numbers to go down, for the prices to go down. I'm going to wait for inventory to go into foreclosure or short sale or distressed properties.
Yep.
You guys, the banks are not stupid. They're not going to sell distressed properties really cheaply. They're not going
Hmm.
to do that right now.
Hmm.
They know that there's no inventory. The banks are not going to give it away, just like you as a seller would say, I'm not going to give it away.
Yep.
So they may be a little bit less and they may help increase inventory, but they definitely are not going to be good deals, I don't think.
Hmm. Yeah.
And
No, I
don't you
agree.
think that, and don't you think too, a lot of I mean, look at the investor, the cash buyer, and the really good deals, the cash buyer is going to scarf it up.
Hmm. Yep.
So,
Yeah. Yeah. And I think yeah, I mean this, there's always opportunities out there for anybody, but yeah, those waiting, you need to be prepared, you need to be ready, and you got to be out there looking, because the 21 days, I mean, that's longer than we saw in the last like 2 years, but that's not a lot of time.
mm,
And especially if you're going in there and trying to negotiate, yeah, the deals are available now, I think, and there are a lot of programs, a lot of things you can do to make the house a little bit more affordable. So there is one thing that you mentioned. I don't think you got to it, but there is one thing you said you wanted to mention about new construction. And I just wanted to make sure
yeah.
we got to that point.
I really, really think that new construction is an amazing, viable opportunity for people who are in a home and you need a place to go. So I want
Hmm.
you all to think about new construction as a viable opportunity because they'll take a contract and it can be contingent on you putting your home on the market after your home is almost built. They'll do like what is it, an OP at 90 days out, or
Hmm.
occupancy permit. So when your occupancy permit gets available and you're going to have this your dream home,
Hmm.
then you can put your home on the market. So it's not like you have this flux period that you're staying in temporary housing or, hotel for a couple months because you've sold your home.
Hmm.
So I think that that's a really great opportunity. But I want all of you all also just to keep in mind that when you go to new construction, the sales rep is fabulous. She'll love your kids. She'll bring you candy. She'll bring you water and coffee. But she's representing the seller. She's
Yeah.
representing the builder. So it doesn't cost anyone to take representation. It's huge. I think you need to do pre-list, or excuse me, pre-construction, or third. Is there like three different times I would do a home inspection?
Hmm.
You've got to do home inspections.
Hmm.
We've had two just recently that we did a home inspection on the new construction, and there were things that really, really needed to be paid attention to. So that
Yeah.
the new construction home inspection brings to light what's wrong. The builder will fix it, and it's fixed for your walkthrough.
Hmm.
Just do what's smart, you guys. And we've all sat through new construction negotiating. And there's not a lot of negotiating right now, but or there wasn't, and there is more so now. They want to help pay your closing costs. They are
Hmm.
paying the agents again. They need your business at this point.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like at the end of the year, everybody wants to get stuff off their books. If there's anything left
Yep.
on their books, they are more than willing to negotiate.
Yeah.
So it's a
Yeah.
great opportunity.
Absolutely. And I know, the whole temporary buy down, which you hear a lot about, that came from builders. That came from builders when
Right.
they're trying to help, stabilize the pricing in the market. And that has, rolled into the retail world now where we do that, often as well. But that's a great opportunity too, that they can typically work with you. And they've got great programs, and if you're not familiar with temporary buy downs, we talk about this in other, marketing videos and pieces. You can check it out. But
Yeah,
I think you're right.
keep in mind though that the builder is not going to lower their sale price. They
Yeah,
really
no,
don't want
exactly.
because they build their next houses based on that sale price. So they'll
Yep.
finish a basement, they'll pay your closing costs, they'll help you with the financing. They'll
Hmm.
do anything besides lower their sale price
Yep.
if they can
Yeah.
help it.
Hey,
So,
I'll take a finished basement.
amen. And a
Yeah.
potty. Give me a new
Yeah.
bathroom down there
Yeah.
too. So,
Exactly. Yeah. It's so much opportunity there, and having done this for a long time, absolutely. Bring an advocate with you, because you
absolutely.
are wowed and by all the new
The fluff.
materials and new things. Yeah. I mean, the emotional side of buying, you're just lost, and you
Yeah.
need that person to pull you back and make sure you're not you're staying grounded and doing what's best for you and your family during that new
And
construction
I'm
process.
I'm a huge advocate of bringing an outside lender
Hmm.
to the
Yep.
new construction because you're going
Hmm.
to make them work for your money.
Hmm.
Whoever's going to give you the best terms. And if it's possible, if they've been working with you for, 2 or 3 months, why would they not take you to the new build if it's at all possible?
Yeah, and I mean, yeah, exactly. And if anything, it just again, helps them get a better deal, right?
Yep.
And
Yep.
that's what it's all about. It's work for the client. So, why don't you just take a moment? Where can people find you on social media? I know you're all over, Facebook and other sites.
Mhm.
So, what's the best way to get a hold of you?
The best way anybody can always text me at 540-903-5171. We'll put that information. We are on Facebook. Missy Stoddard Walden is my actual personal page, but we have the Walden team on Facebook. So, and it's
Mm-hmm.
WALDEN.
Hmm.
But our whole mission is to really evaluate what everybody's doing
Hmm.
and then educate and then execute. And it doesn't
Yeah.
have to happen today. But
Yeah.
the more options buyers have and the more options sellers have and they're smart about their options, they can make the best choices for themselves. So,
Hmm.
we're here
Yep.
for you. And I have my business partner Fabio is amazing, Spanish speaker. I could not get my act together today to get him in this, but maybe next time we'll do that and we'll have a
Yeah.
threesome. It'll be
Yeah, we
fun.
can. Yeah, we can do it next month, and appreciate you coming on. And
Thank you.
we'll talk soon. Bye, everybody.
Merry Christmas. Bye, y'all.
Yes, Merry Christmas.